What up, y'all? What up? I wanted to come through today because I have a teaching for y'all. And I've been reflecting on it. I just got out the gym, about to go for a little ride. And I'm going to teach y'all something. So today's topic is called the Art of Transmutation. And we just going to get right in. I'm not really sure where to start at, but we just going to hop in. So the Art of Transmutation is basically taking something and turning it into something else. It is alchemy. It is a process of, let's say, for example, you had, and this is a good example, you had a situation where something made you sad, okay? Say you lost a friend. And the Art of Transmutation comes in when you take that sadness and you pour it into something. So let's say if somebody lost their friend and they went and started a charity for diabetes, right? Let's say like their friend died from diabetes. So the person who was grieving used that energy of sadness to build to build a charity for people who have diabetes and to bring awareness around diabetes, right? That is one example of transmutation. Now let me teach y'all something about the planes of correspondence, okay? And some of this comes from the Kabbalion, and that is a Hermetic ancient teachings, and you guys can go ahead and find that. I found it at the library for free. But yeah, so the planes of correspondence basically says that all things are in all things, in all planes. All things that are in one plane are also in other planes, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. So let's say that in this plane there is theft, okay? And then in the next plane there's also theft. And then the next plane there's also a version of theft. It looks different because it varies to a degree and it varies to how it looks, but regardless, the pattern is still there in certain planes of existence, okay? For example, we may experience theft from person to person. A person might steal something from the store, okay? You can see that in nature. The same way that a squirrel will come and steal a nut from, wherever. Say another squirrel had a nut over there and then the squirrel took it, okay? That's what do you guys understand what I'm getting at? Okay, so let's bring the planes of correspondence into these things. So, transmutation, the art of transmutation. It can be acted upon in varying degrees. Okay, I gave you one example of sadness. Anger is a very activating emotion. And I was thinking about this, and a lot of people get so stuck on being angry about what happened to them, they don't do anything with it. Instead, they're paralyzed by it. They stay in the same place, in the same cycles, because they have done nothing with the anger that they are carrying. Okay? That's on them. You're different, and you're ready to move forward in your life, and that's where the art of transmutation comes in. If you have had something happen in your life that has caused you to feel a certain type of emotion, there are ways that you can take it and move that energy into something else and be freed from the emotion that was oppressing you or holding you back or causing you disturbance or things like that. Does that make sense? Some of y'all need to be angry, okay? There's a lot of programming in the mental masses that you shouldn't be angry. Or the opposite, be very angry. Be very angry. Because the thing about anger and fire go hand in hand. What does fire do when it is out of control? It destroys. But what does fire do when it's under control? It provides warmth. It provides an energetic resource. It provides a place to cook your food. Like, fire can do beautiful things if it is controlled correctly. That being said, if you are angry and you have a lot of fire within you, Trust me, I was the type of person where I just allowed things to happen to me when I was a kid, okay? Because I really didn't have a choice. I was defenseless in my situations, and I had to learn to not have a backbone, because anytime I stood up for myself, the punishments were only worse, and my experience was only harder, okay? So that being said, circling back, some of y'all need to be angry. That may be the first time, this may be the first time in your life that you experience anger. And it may show up like a wildfire. So what I want you to do is find a point. It doesn't matter where you are. Everywhere you go, planes of correspondence, because these things can be found anywhere. Find something to focus on. Little things. Find a rock in the road. Find a hole in your wall, like a tiny one. There shouldn't be no big. Nobody should be punching holes in nobody's walls. Anyways, find a tiny little dot somewhere and stare at it. And I want you to stare at it for as long as you can stare at it, and continue to stare at it. And I want you every day to stare at that hole, stare at that dot, focus on focusing. Okay? That is one thing when it comes to having a lot of fire. You have to learn how to control it so you do not harm anybody around you. You don't harm yourself, and you don't destroy things that are not meant to be destroyed. Some things are meant to be destroyed, but a lot of things are not. Okay? Hold on. Okay, my phone is giving me a notification. Is it telling me to go over here? I think so. So, back to what I was saying. Focus. Okay? A big part of controlling your inner fire is to have focus. If you can hone in and master focusing, and some people are like, oh, I got ADD, or I got ADHD, or I got da-da-da-da, but I can't focus. Practice. I'm not saying that those things are not valid and those things are not real, but all I'm saying is trauma has a way of throwing you off balance, and it has a way of having a chaotic mental imprint on you, so that you're focused on everything outside of you rather than honing in on one thing. Okay? Does that make sense? Anyways, focusing on that dot, and allow that same energy of focusing on that dot to spill into other aspects of your life. Okay? So maybe today and for the next 3 months, you focus on this dot. And then you move on to other things. Say you're in school, and now you're able to focus on your homework more, because what happens is when you're focusing on this dot, you are learning to tune out everything around you. You're learning to turn off the thoughts around you, or not even turn them off, but just allow them to be, and steady on your path of focusing. Okay? So, back to the art of transmutation. Once you are able to control, and you know what, it doesn't even have to be anger. It can be sadness. It can be other emotions that are causing you some type of sensation that makes you want to move. Okay? Sorry, I'm just kind of focusing on this road real quick, because there's this part of the city that's built on a burial ground, and I hate driving through it because people they don't know how to drive. They don't. And it's extremely chaotic, but that's where the focus comes in, right? So once you have your focus, I want you to begin a skill that you have always felt an inclination towards. Okay? For me, it's drawing. When I was younger and I was going through some really hard shit, I used to draw. And that was my way of transmuting what I was feeling. That was a way of me processing what I was feeling, because I was not able to talk about the things that I was going through. I just wasn't able to talk about it. I wasn't able to do much with it. So I was a very explosive child. I would get violent at times. I would be a bit of a tornado in situations, because I had so much pent up anger that at a point there would just come a point where I couldn't control it anymore. Okay? And that's what I'm trying to help you guys prevent from happening, because it happens to a lot of people where it just comes to a point where you just can't take it anymore. You've been pushed on too many times. You've been disrespected too many times. You've been, just not treated right too many times. And it comes to a point where you just flip out. You flip your top and the kettle is burning hot and you do things that are completely out of your character. And that's what I'm trying to present. Or, what was the word? Prevent. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, like I was saying, I'm going to just finish this video before I go in. There are a lot of ways. So something that I study is like ancient teachings, okay? And the thing is we are complicated at this time in life, and we don't know how to manage our emotions. We don't know how to manage when things get tough. And coming back to ancient teachings, it shows us the natural processes that we need to take sometimes in order to transmute that energy. Okay? Certain times you need to move your body. Okay? Whether that be working out, dancing, stretching, yoga, these are all skills that you can hone in on that will allow you to transmute energy. Okay? Some of you are craftsmen and you have not stepped forward into your craftsmanship, and you need to begin now. Okay? Start small. It doesn't matter if it's expensive. Okay? Start small. You don't have to go super big on things. You can start very small. You can at the very least, start sketching some things out. Okay? Being a craftsman is a very, very, I want to say primal, but it's not primal, but it's like a sophisticated way of transmuting energy. I pour a lot of energy into my art. A lot of my art, you see, I have poured a ton of emotions into it, and that is why it sings. Okay? Even when you see the little animals and stuff I make on my website, www.spicyexpressions.com, little advertisement. Even when you see the animals I make, it's because those animals are spiritual animals that were calling to me at certain points in my life, allowing me and showing me and guiding me how to transmute certain energies. Okay? Be open to that. Alright? What I don't want to see is people still stuck in things, and they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, they still stuck. Listen, man. There's been times where I have really, really had to be like, let's say somebody came in, they just pissed me off, okay? And these are positive things. Like, that's what I want you guys to see is it's not a negative thing when somebody pisses you off. It may feel negative because it has thrown you off or whatever, but it's positive. You should be saying thank you. Thank you for pissing me off. Thank you. Because I'm going to take that energy and I'm going to do something beautiful with it. Some of y'all have been so numb and tired that you have not come to that point of pissed offedness. Okay? That pissed offedness is that fire that will allow you to change your life. Okay, it gives you energy to do things that you may not have ever been able to do before. So thank the people that piss you off. And thank you because it gives you an opportunity to hone in on self-mastery. The more you practice these things, the less these things faze you. You're just like, oh, thank you for this gift. Moving on. And then you can have more self-confidence in knowing that you have wisdom to change your life and to change your situations and to focus on things that you can change rather than things that you cannot change. Okay? There's a certain level of maturity that comes with that. And it's freaking beautiful. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys here. So the art of transmutation, taking something, that energy, that whatever you have, sadness, anger, depression, grief, and pouring it into something. It doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be anything monumental. Okay, I used to have tiny little sketches that I used to do, like just these sad ass little pictures in my journal. And let me tell you something. I had all these sad ass pictures in my journal. And one time my art teacher said to me, hey, can I look through your art book? Because I was always in it, just always sketching my sad little ass, And I said, okay, nervous as hell. And he was like, wow, this is so good. And he looked at me and I could see the emotion in his eyes. And he was like, somebody really hurt you. Somebody really hurt you. And he looked me dead in the eyes, and I'll never forget this. And you know what? That moment right there was when my art teacher determined that he was going to push me as an artist, and he was going to teach me skills that the other kids, they weren't catching up on it. He was like, I need to teach you these things. And not only did he teach me things, he gave me projects that other kids were not getting. He gave me achievements. Okay, I had things in like art museums. I had one drawing got sold to like a hospital. Like it was all kinds of cool things that were happening because I was a sad little ass kid that was just drawing these little sketches, and I was hopeless, and then I was in a dark place. But because I did that, it allowed so many doors to open up for me. Had I just been sticking to myself, sad as a mud trucker, not doing anything about it, none of those opportunities would have happened. Hell, I probably wouldn't even be here today. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm trying to show y'all how important it is. The art of transmutation is in your life. That is a key, one key to self-mastery. So I hope that you guys take this information, and I hope that it's beneficial. Please, if you have comments, comment away. If you have questions, question away. And y'all have a beautiful, wonderful week. Stay safe out here. The holidays can be a stressful time, so that's why I feel like this is an on-time message for some people, because you're going to go to them family dinners, they're going to be talking shit, and you're going to be mad as hell. So go ahead and take that energy and move it into something else. Maybe your walls need to be painted in your house. Maybe you need to clean your bathroom. Like, it's just small little things like that, okay? It don't have to be you an artist or you a craftsman or anything like that, although it could be. But I'm just saying, there are certain things that will be beneficial to you. Alright, guys. I love y'all. Y'all stay safe out here, and talk to you next time.